See, this is the stupidity that our culture considers entertainment, right? This guy claims to be a Catholic, as far as I know. Man, grow up. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be reacting to Ricky Gervais and Stephen Colbert talking about religion. Let's check it out.
Do you want to debate the existence of
Sure.
God? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ricky Gervais, why is there something instead of nothing?
That makes no sense
You
at all.
have to answer my question.
That's not the two choices.
No, but the choices I'm giving you, I'm the host.
Well, I don't...
That's dumb from both their responses. There are only two choices. Either the universe had a beginning or it didn't have a beginning. If it had a beginning, it needs a cause. If it didn't have a beginning, you got to explain what the argument is that it didn't have a beginning. Some would even argue, like Leibniz, that even if it didn't have a beginning, it would still be contingent.
You want to concede the debate? Why is there something instead of nothing?
Hold on.
Yes?
What do you mean, out of nothing? What do you mean?
Why is there something instead of why is there nothing? Why does the universe exist at all? Why is there something?
But surely the big question is not why, but how. Well, why is irrelevant, isn't
Okay,
it?
fine. How is there something? Because you think of God as the prime mover. How is there anything
Well,
instead of nothing?
I don't. This is a ridiculous
Is there a
premise.
prime mover?
If
Is there a demiurge that started everything?
Well, outside science and nature, I don't believe so. Because the interesting thing is, this is the thing, right? So,
Outside science and nature, I don't believe so. What? Science is not a thing that creates anything. The question is whether nature could have created itself, right? Like, could the universe create itself? Well, if it didn't exist, then what is doing the creating of it itself?
I'm an agnostic atheist, technically. Agnostics means no one knows whether there's a God. So everyone's technically agnostic. We don't know.
Not stupid. Yeah, that's another one. Man, these guys, like, read a book. There's two kinds of agnosticism. There's what's called weak and strong agnosticism, right? The weak agnostic says, well, I'm open to the evidence. I don't think there is evidence. The strong agnostic says that we can't have access to evidence even if there were evidence. So it's more of an epistemological reasoning given there.
That's true.
An agnostic atheist is someone...
It's not true that everyone is agnostic because we really don't know. Unless you're claiming that the only way you can know something is by 100% certainty. That is not a standard we use for knowledge, 100% certainty.
who doesn't know there's a God or not, as no one does.
So you're not convicted of your atheism?
Well, I
You're
am.
not sure.
He's
I
using
am,
knowledge
because
very weird here.
Atheism is only rejecting the claim that there is a God. Atheism isn't a belief system.
Of course it is. I believe that there's no God. Again, this is one of these very silly YouTube comments that have been popularized by popular writers like Richard Dawkins, who really don't know what they're talking about when it comes to the philosophy of the matter.
Atheism. So this is atheism in a nutshell. You say there's a God. I say, can you prove that? You say no.
That's not true. No, let me explain this, Ricky. You say there's a God. I say there is no God, because atheism means the negation of theism, no theism, negative theism. That's what atheism means.
I don't believe you then. So you believe in one God, I assume.
I know where this is going, and he's going to repeat something that's a popular slogan. You reject all the thousands of gods that have been out there, and you're an atheist towards them. I'm just going one further.
In three persons, but go ahead.
Okay, so you believe... Okay. So, but there are about 3,000 to choose from that have been, you know, people who believe in...
I've done some reading, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So basically, you believe in... You deny one less God than I do. You don't believe in 2,999 gods, and I don't believe in just one more.
Right.
The seals they're like seal. That's a good argument. It's not. It's a horrendous argument. It's stupid. Because those gods that one denies, all gods are not made equal. Let's put it this way, right? All gods do not have the same definition. And because they don't have the same definition, it would be much easier to deny the existence of those deities. This is a lot more complicated than this man is making it seem.
Do you ever have a feeling of great gratitude for existence?
Man, Stephen Colbert is one of the worst at arguing for the existence of God. Here's what not to do. Argue for God's existence the way Stephen Colbert is doing it. He doesn't know how to stay to the subject, to the topic that he brought up, and he keeps jumping around. Like he couldn't do the cosmological argument. He failed. Both of these people are failures when it comes to this argument. This is not a healthy conversation. You're going to stick with the cosmological argument. Don't just take what he said and run with it. Like, continue, push him. You said you want to debate. Now you're moving to like experience of gratitude and all sorts of like conversations about that, or like his atheism comment. Just respond to it. Tell him, no, that's not true. I don't believe in a created God. All those other gods you're mentioning are created gods, with the exception of, say, the Islamic God. Okay, we'll have a conversation about that.
Do you ever have?
I know the chances are billions to one that I am on this planet as me and never will be again.
And I know I can't convince you that there is a God, nor do I really want to convince you there's a God, but I can only explain my experience, which is that...
Why wouldn't you want to convince the guy that there's a God? What do you mean I wouldn't want to? What kind of a dumb statement is that, especially from someone who claims to be a Christian? It's like, man, I can't convince you, neither would I want to convince you. I'm just going to let you go to hell.
I have a strong desire to direct that gratitude towards something or someone.
Of course.
And that thing is God.
We're mortal. We want to make sense of nature and
I feel like it's two atheists talking to one another.
science, and it's too unfathomable that everything in the universe was once crunched into something smaller than an atom.
But you don't know that.
Well,
you're just believing Stephen Hawking.
He's using his knowing argumentation against it. That's hilarious.
And that's a matter of faith in his abilities.
Yes.
You don't know it yourself. You're accepting that because someone told you.
Yeah, well, but science is constantly proved all the time. You see, if we take something like any fiction, in any holy book, in any other fiction...
Notice where the conversation started. Why is there something rather than nothing? Right? That's a legitimate conversation. That's a scientific one. Now he goes back to the Big Bang. It's like, but the Big Bang says there was nothing before the Big Bang. So how can nothing bring something into existence? But Stephen Colbert is a failure at having a conversation like this because, I don't know, maybe he's just trying to be funny. He doesn't do a good job. Just lets it go.
Destroyed it, okay? In 1,000 years' time, that wouldn't come back just as it was. Whereas if we took every science book, right, and every fact, and destroyed them all, in 1,000 years, they'd all be back, because all the same tests would be the same result.
That's good. That's really good.
But science is constantly proved all the time. You see, if we take something like any fiction, in any holy book, in any other fiction, and destroyed it.
Any fictions. He's already assuming the conclusion that it's fiction. Okay, so I would challenge him on his assumptions. He's assuming that the holy book, let's say the Bible in this case, is fiction. So his conclusion is going to be true, that if you get rid of it, then it's going to be gone. But the science, the facts are going to prove, unless you have actually the existence of God who's revealed himself, that even if you get rid of it, it's going to come back because there's a revelator of that. See how he's sneaking this in there? So if you're an attentive individual, you got to catch when people do stuff like this. He's assuming his conclusion. He's sneaking in his conclusion into his premise. It's really bad logic.
That's really good.
The seal's in the back.
That's really good.
I don't need faith in science. I don't need faith to know that probably if I jump out of a window, every other time someone jumps out, they smash to the ground because of this thing called gravity.
And then Satan would be raping you.
This is why I'm a good boy.
What a moron, man. I mean, sheesh, man. This guy's a grown man. See, this is the stupidity that our culture considers entertainment. Right? This guy claims to be a Catholic, as far as I know. Man, grow up. You consider yourself as a representative of the Christian worldview, and your statement is Satan's going to rape you?
Ricky, please come back and debate something even more.
Oh, Lord, please don't. Please don't. Please don't go back. If you're going to go back, please don't have any serious conversations because utterly useless, of no help to anyone. I'm a lot stupider by listening to this conversation.